Welcome to the channel, guys. We are going to try something a little different right now. Tara should be home shortly. It's about 4:30 p.m. And as I said in my last video, lots of times I don't know what's for dinner until just before dinner. So Tara and I talked. We're going to have pork chops. So I'm just going to take some thin boneless pork chops. I found a recipe online. I am going to totally not use the recipe. That's not true. I'm not using the seasoning. I'm going to try this Kinder's buttery garlic and herb seasoning. I'm going to make a paste with it and some olive oil. I'm going to coat the pork chops in the paste, and then I'm going to air fry them at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, about 5 minutes on each side. We're going to see how they come out. I am not going to show that recipe, but I may show some clips. I am going to try to film this. We're going to see how it goes, but we are going to do some Velveeta shells and cheese, for lack of a better term. I don't have any gluten-free boxed shells and cheese or macaroni and cheese in the house. I do have some private label Velveeta though, and so I googled the recipe, just a couple ingredients. We're going to see how this goes. There may be some voiceover, but in an effort to bring you guys more content, let's do this. Oh yeah, I'm Jamie with SavorySaver. I share gluten-free recipes, tips, tricks, and resources to make your gluten-free lifestyle easier. So please consider hitting subscribe, and let's get started. Guys, Tara's pulling in the driveway, so real quick, let's go over the ingredients, and I will do some voiceover and show you how I actually made it. So for the Velveeta shells and cheese, the only thing you're gonna need is some Velveeta, which is gluten-free. It's on the box here. This is from Aldi's. Also gonna use some macaroni. I've got Buttery here, and we'll go over how to cook that real quick at some point in the video. 2 cups of that. I've got a 1/3 cup of milk. I'm using whole because that's what I have in the fridge, and some pepper. So let's get this made. I'll show you the finished product, and we'll do some voiceovers and talk about it either later today, or I will do a quick video tomorrow to fill in the gaps. So this is the finished dinner. We ended up having those pork chops that stayed nice and juicy, surprisingly, in the air fryer. We had this gluten-free shells and cheese, Velveeta style, and we also had corn on the cob, fresh from the produce stand. So it is the next day. I did do very little filming with the dinner. We'll see how this goes. I want to try more stuff with you guys and being able to share more videos. So let me know what you guys think about this style of video in the comments. So let's go over dinner. For the pork chops, I used this Kinder's buttery garlic and herb. And I did look at their website. Kinder's is available all over the place, guys. You know, Walmart, grocery stores, Amazon, Target, wherever, multiple kinds. I think this is a large bottle. It probably came from Sam's Club. So I did check their website, and their factories, of course, have shared lines. So if their stuff is gluten-free, it will be clearly marked. Lots of their products contain ingredients that don't have any gluten in them, but you know, if you need certified, then you need to look at that. This, on the back of it, the only thing it says it contains is milk. Tara doesn't have any issues with this, so definitely check out the Kinder line of stuff for gluten-free stuff, or if you can usually use something that doesn't have gluten ingredients in it. I have seen their stuff before. I think the last thing I saw was like one of their packet mixes, and the gluten-free, it was gluten-free, and it was clearly stamped on the front of that packet. So check them out. This recipe is going to work with your favorite seasonings though. So for the pork chops, all I did was I put maybe a tablespoon and a half of this into a bowl. Then I added just enough olive oil to make it a paste. So I think I added maybe a tablespoon or so of olive oil. I put some in there, didn't look like quite enough, and I put a little bit more, a really thick paste, and just mixed it up. Once that was done, I took my pork chops. It was like 5 thin cut pork chops, probably maybe around a pound or so. Threw those in there and just worked it in with my hands all over the olive oil and the paste until everything was coated. Put it in the air fryer at 400 for 5 minutes, flipped it, did another 5 minutes, and it was perfect. It temped above where it needed to, but they were the juiciest pork chops I've had in forever. I do not buy a lot of thin pork chops anymore because I feel like I screw them up. They came out great, so I will link down below to the recipe I used for those. And again, I used my own seasonings. The seasonings on that recipe look really good. but I had this and I didn't have to do extra work. So I'll link down below to the pork chops. The shells and cheese, this is what I use, the Aldi Velveeta cheese melt. It is listed as gluten-free. We had this in the fridge. So I will link down below to that recipe. It came right off the Kraft Heinz website. Super easy to do. So in regards to making that recipe, the big thing is that I don't feel that I cut up the Velveeta small enough. Velveeta is a challenge to cut. It gets everywhere. It's, you know, sticky and soft. So it didn't melt as fast as I would like into the pasta. Let me grab the pasta today since it's been sitting in the fridge. So here's what it looks like today, and it looks pretty good, actually. There's some broken pieces, but there's a lot of whole macaroni still. I don't know how the reheat's gonna go with this yet. There was a lot of mixing involved. I think the next time I do it, I might actually leave the pasta in the colander as it drains and just let it hang out there for a minute, and then maybe put the Velveeta in the milk over a low flame and just mix it just to soften everything up, maybe even until it's a sauce, and then add the macaroni in just to prevent the extra stirring, because gluten-free pasta just isn't as strong and pliable as regular pasta. It was super easy to make. I would totally do the recipe again. Just make sure that everything's cut smaller, and then maybe doing that heating method. It's an extra step. It's not really a dump and go at that point, but it might make everything just a little smoother. Taste was good. Tara said it was a little thick, but she was okay with that. But I also think that melting the cheese sauce first and then adding the pasta to it would give it a creamier, less thick consistency. And if it's still too thick, you can add a little bit more milk to that without ruining anything. So that was a good recipe. It was nice and easy. I no longer boil my pasta 98% of the time. For the gluten-free pasta, I bring the water to a boil, salt it if I'm using salt, and then I drop my pasta in. I bring it up to a boil for maybe a minute, minute and a half, turn it off, put the lid on it, and then I start checking it. Oliver's sniffing me. Then I start checking it, like usually the lower end of the time that it says on the box, to see if it's done. I have found that not hard boiling the pasta, or even, you know, at a simmer, I don't get as much breakage. I don't get as much overcooking and mushy. And I used to only do it with pinata, and now I do it with all the gluten-free pastas I make. For the corn on the cob, it was already shucked, ready to go. This is something I've also changed this summer a little bit. I feel like corn can get overcooked, and it is something that you can eat raw. So what I've started doing is I bring my water up to a boil. I add a good pinch of salt or two to season the water. It'll help season that corn. And then I'll either do two ways, because I think earlier this year I was doing it this way and I changed it last night. 5 minutes in the boiling water and it's done. It doesn't need to go 10 minutes and overcook it and all that mess. 5 minutes and it tastes great, and it's enough time for that salt to help flavor the corn. Last night I had a little bit extra time that I was trying to get everything timed right. So I actually brought the water to a boil, put the salt in, put the lid on it, and turned it off. And it was still cooked amazing. It still has a nice crispness to it, but it is cooked. So it's more of almost like a blanch instead of it being boiled to death. So guys, that is my last minute, quick and easy weeknight dinner that we had. These types of videos, we'll see how they do. We'll see if you guys like them or not. The lighting was horrible for the first half of it because I literally grabbed my phone and held it. This, of course, I actually have some better light on me so you can see me, and I don't look like, you know, dark on half my face. Let me know what you think. What are your quick dinner ideas? Everything's linked down below that you may need in regards to ingredients and recipes. And as always, I hope to see you in the next video.